Chag Purim Sameach, everyone. That's Happy Purim. Purim is the Jewish feast celebrating the events in the book of Esther where we see God's preservation and defense of his people, the Jewish people, at the threat of destruction during the Persian Empire. So every year, synagogues and congregations everywhere put on a fun Purim spiel or play, reenacting the plot and the heroic and godly actions of Esther and Mordecai, in contrast to the evil anti-Semitic schemes of Haman. Now, the Purim celebration is really meant to stir our spiritual memory, our zachor, giving us a real sense of history as well as a transcultural message that we can learn from and apply in our lives and in our communities. The word Purim comes actually from the Persian word pur, meaning lot, piece, or portion. And as with the entire book of Esther, this word really is very ironic and fitting given the storyline. Esther 9:24 records that Haman cast lot to disturb the Jews and destroy them. But by the end of the book, it is clear that God has a different lot for the Jews and for Haman. The irony is actually that he switches those lots. Haman and his family are actually destroyed, which is the lot he intended for the Jewish people, while the Jewish community, Esther and Mordecai, are not only delivered from destruction, but they actually rise up to Haman's previous position and favor. And even though God himself is not directly mentioned throughout this book, he really didn't have to be. He could be spotted immediately by the ones who, like Mordecai, knew him well through his attributes and his actions, but specifically through this switching up of lots. And if you know your Bible, you know that that is a very characteristic thing for God to do, to switch lots. Mordecai knew that God was present all throughout the story of Purim, and he knew that God was even fighting for his people. And I would dare even say that Mordecai knew that Haman stood no chance in messing with God's people, because he knew his scriptures well. And specifically, Mordecai knew the scriptures that say he frustrates the devices of the crafty so that their hands achieve no success. He catches the wise in their own craftiness, and the schemes of the wily are brought to a quick end. Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him. Fret not yourself over the one who prospers in his way, over the man who carries out evil devices. Before destruction, a man's heart is haughty, but humility comes before honor. The king's heart is a stream of water in the hand of the Lord. He turns it wherever he will. Blessed is the nation whose God is the Lord, the people whom he has chosen as his heritage. For what great nation is there that has a God so near to it as the Lord our God is to us whenever we call upon him? The Lord is my chosen portion and my cup. You hold my lot. The lines have fallen for me in pleasant places. Truly, you set the wicked in slippery places. You make them fall to ruin. How they are destroyed in a moment, swept away utterly by terrors. And that's exactly what happened to Haman. Behold, the eye of the Lord is on those who fear him, on those who hope in his steadfast love, that he may deliver their soul from death. Our soul waits for the Lord. He is our help and our shield. If your people go out to battle against their enemies and they pray to you toward this city, Jerusalem, that you have chosen, and the house that I, Solomon, have built for your name, then hear from heaven their prayer and their plea and maintain their cause. And that, folks, is exactly what happened in the Persian Empire outside the land of Israel with the Jewish community. So here are just a few questions for contemplation. Evil forces have always been at work against the Jewish people in every generation. How does the Purim story speak to the opposition and the anti-Semitism in our day? To us who know God, the Scriptures, and even the Messiah, what precedent, what example does this history set for confronting such evils today? 2, how crucial do you think was the hidden spiritual work of personal and communal fasting, prayer, and even just humility before God in Esther and Mordecai's fight against Haman and the edict against the Jews? In the book of Esther, most of the global Jewish community is actually living in post-exilic Susa in Persia, not in the land of Israel. So already there is so much that the Jewish community in Persia cannot do in order to be entirely faithful in keeping and cultivating the culture, the order, and the lifestyle of Torah. All throughout the book of Esther, Mordecai and Esther both act in serpent-like wisdom and dove-like innocence.